This house has been in the dark for almost 160 years, and once we light it up, you are not going to believe the results. The process begins with the client providing photos of the house for the Haven Lighting team to then create the design. Haven CEO Chris McCoy and lead installer Mike Wilson sit down and use an iPad to design the layout for the front, side, and back of the house. This is a unique home that is very tall and has various peaks and angles that need to be highlighted. The design will include uplights along the front and side of the house that are placed in the surrounding flower bed. Then 2 lights are installed in the front porch, and then uplights will be used in the ivy to highlight the trees. As we move up the house, feature lights are going to be installed on all of the peaks and evenly illuminate the home. Around back, we're going to use 2 full-color LED tiki lights, uplights in the patio corners, and feature lights in the flower bed along the stone wall. In total, this project will use 38 Haven Lighting 9 Series lights and a 9 Series transformer. Now that the design is finished and approved by the client, let's join up with the Haven Smart Services team who's starting to light up this 157-year-old house. The team starts by getting the lights assembled, then places them around the perimeter of the house based on the design. They make quick work of trenching a path and laying the wire, which runs across the front of the house and leads to the side of the home where the transformer will be installed in the basement. Devin starts running the wiring up to the 2nd and 3rd floor peaks of the house. Going back to the design, each peak will have 2 feature lights that are evenly spaced, so he needs to get wire from the trunk line up the house, then split it off so each peak has power. All the wire will be completely hidden along the trim of the home and run through the gutters so it's invisible from the ground. Down below, Nate and Joe are making the connections for all the lights so they can start to get power and be placed in final positions. All of the lights are going into the ground, except 2 uplights, which are permanently installed on the front porch steps to illuminate the pillars. Let's check in with Joe and see how this process works.
So what we did here, we wanted to mount these lights to the steps as opposed to having them down in the bed so that we could get them to shine up on these pillars on the deck. So what we did is we mounted them here. Now, if you get close, you can see the wires run through the step, and then it feeds out in the bottom here and then runs onto our trunk line. So the wire's invisible, it's mounted up just with outdoor screws, real simple, and it's gonna put a great light right up onto the pillar of the deck.
So I just want to add on this particular lighting situation, the customer is going to be hiding the 6-watt light with a planter. The other option we would go with if they didn't have a planter would be something similar to this, which would be our core drills. And these would actually be, we would actually drill a hole and actually flush these in the step. We have multiple different sizes of these, so you could, figure out what size you actually wanted. This would be the exact same light that we put there, just at a core drill.
Joe then gets both lights installed on the porch. With houses this old, nothing is exactly even and everything needs to be measured to make sure you get the correct placement. The porch lights are installed and wires are hidden. While Nate continues connecting the lights and Joe finishes the front steps, let's head over and get the transformer installed to start getting power to the lights. This Haven Lighting 9 Series transformer is being placed in the basement. The process starts with getting a measurement on the inside and the outside, and then marking the spot where to drill from the outside. Then, a hole is drilled, where wires will then pass through to connect to the transformer in the basement. For safety, this is a 2-man job. Mike explains why.
You always want to have 2 guys on this, point. One out here that's going to be drilling the hole, one inside to make sure everything's good. We normally use either walkie-talkies or Apple Watches to call, or somebody on speakerphone. So that way when they're drilling in, you're not going to run into any issues. If something starts to happen, he can say, hey, stop, there's wire, there's pipe, there's whatnot. You should always check that, but something can always happen.
All the wire runs are finished and the lights are placed so that the trunk line and all wiring from the front of the house is run to the transformer. Devin then slides all the wire through the conduit and the LB conduit body, which will then cleanly pass all wiring from the fixtures to the transformer in the basement. Devin makes all the connections in the basement, then the transformer is turned on and the lights now have power. Work continues on the front of the house by passing the wire down the gutters to connect to the trunk line. Then they begin placing and installing the feature lights on the 2nd and 3rd floor peaks. Day one of the install gets close to wrapping up with finishing the feature lights on the side of the house and running the wires down the longest gutter of the day. These lights are installed and the wires are connected to the trunk line, and that wraps up the installation for the front and side of the house. Mike and Devin get all of the lights zoned for maximum control with the Haven Lighting app. This is a process of using a Haven Smart Key to identify, label, and zone each light. Once the sun has set, Mike then gets the homeowners to come outside so he can reveal what the front and side of the house looks like. Classic 2700 Kelvin looks great and takes this home to the next level. The homeowner loves it, but they seem to have an affinity for the Halloween mode that comes built in with the Haven system, and we can't blame them. Mike goes through all the various colors, and the results are amazing on this old Victorian home. But we aren't done yet. Tomorrow is the backyard.
So day two in the Wyoming install. So we're in the backyard. We've got an old system, we've got an old transformer and some old lights. We're taking all of those out so we can have a new clean look for the Haven system for the homeowner right now.
While Joe removes all the old lights, wiring, and transformer that were completely broken, the team begins placing the new lights, and Nate starts digging a trench where he will run the wire under the pathway. They only have to dig under one spot to run the trunk line, and then they can just remove a few pavers to get the wire run along the stone wall, which leads to the uplights that highlight the trees on the patio. This backyard is getting 2 full-color LED tiki torches, which is a special feature that will look amazing, and also help cut down on bugs by using the citronella oil in the tikis. Mike, Devin, and Nate continue to trench, run wire, and install the remaining lights in the flower bed, while the homeowner does some light yard work to prepare for the big reveal. Connections are made, oil is added to the tikis, and all the remaining lights are zoned with the Haven app. Mike then ceremoniously lights the tiki torch like an Olympic athlete, and the job is complete. The homeowners love the finished product. They had no working outdoor lighting before, but now they have a beautifully illuminated home that is classic and timeless when using the 2700 Kelvin white lights, or they can create stunning visuals for all the holidays throughout the year. If you're interested in lighting up your home or commercial space with Haven lights, check out havenlighting.com and follow us on all social platforms at Haven Lighting. And be sure to subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.